Hey there, welcome to Chossy Conversations. This is your host, Rhett Lundy,
And I'm Logan McGaha.
and this is our episode 4. We're going to talk about a lot of just fun stuff today. I think we're just going to have a lot of fun today.
I mean, I always have fun when I'm doing this podcast.
Oh, totally. Yeah, me too. And my voice, I apologize, it's still a little hoarse. We had USA Regionals this past weekend, and I was just like screaming in isolation.
So it's a tiny pony?
Yeah. Thanks. Edit that out.
No, this is all raw now.
It's all raw energy, yo.
Yep.
We've already had some whiskey. We're feeling pretty good, and gotta loosen the lips, and gotta help. It helps my voice actually. It massages and lubricates my voice.
Yeah, but you know the old adage, loose lips sink ships.
Yeah, that fits. That applies.
Yeah. Okay.
Just that's the last ship I was on.
The Titanic.
Yeah, the Titanic.
Anyway, so we were doing some research for this week's episode, and we came across a new climbing spot, or not really new, but
underdeveloped, I'd say.
Yeah, an underdeveloped climbing spot that we decided we wanted to share with you all.
Yeah, it was posted in an article by Rock and Ice magazine. It's in this place called the Daniels River Valley, which is in where's that, Logan?
British Columbia.
British Columbia. Daniels River Valley. It's also known as Canada's Yosemite. So if you're out there, Yosemite climbers,
yeah,
a final frontier. What's the name of that big wall, Logan?
It's called the Super Unknown.
The Super Unknown. So let's just take that in for a second, because I feel like that is a terrible name.
Considering it's known.
Yeah, it's known. And
maybe they're meaning super unknown as like
the routes that can be developed. Yeah. I mean, I'm sure they are, but it's still, El Capitan is such a mythical name. It's like the super unknown doesn't.
Yeah, but El Capitan, what were they going to call this one? Gilligan. I mean, I'm just saying.
Gilligan's Island.
I mean, you got El Capitan, and they're trying to say that this is the biggest wall, or this or that.
How big is it?
Like 3,000 feet.
4,000.
I was talking about El Cap.
Oh, El Cap, yeah.
Yeah, and then the super unknown comes in at 4,000 feet.
Oof.
1,000 feet higher than
El Cap.
El Cap.
Double the size of Half Dome.
Yeah, I mean, it's huge.
That's massive. 4,000 feet.
My voice just went really high. Huge.
Ooh, I can't even go that high. That's the size I can go.
Yeah.
It's like, oh man, dying. Yeah, no, the super unknowns, 4,000 feet. It's in this beautiful valley in British Columbia. It's absolutely incredible.
And I think it only has like 2 actually full established routes.
Yeah, I think it's got like 4 routes total. 2 of them are actually like fully established, like to the summit routes, and then the other 2 I think are like kind of shorter, like kind of routes or something like that.
Just
on the short, just on the short end.
Yeah.
Not up the prow.
Yeah.
It's massive. It's a giant, just swath of granite, I believe. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's absolutely beautiful. But to get there, it's a boat ride up a remote fjord in British Columbia, and then like a 12-mile backwoods Canadian bushwhacking adventure.
Yeah, exactly. Which is, if you've ever been bushwhacking for like 200 feet, it's exhausting. So imagine that 12 miles with like iron and aluminum and all of your like supplies for weeks on end, a big wall rack, everything, a portaledge, everything,
and then hacking through pine and cedar and all that.
You're not bushwhacking through like palm leaves.
Yeah,
it's like evergreens. God, that sounds hard.
But I think it sounds amazing.
Oh, it sounds so
I think
cool.
There's a sense of adventure there that has kind of been lost to the modern world. Like we were talking earlier, there's that spirit is gone, and it's become not what can people find, but what can people find on the internet from the safety of their own home.
Yeah, exactly. The internet has dumbed down our sense of adventure, I think, a bit, even though it definitely has the resource to amp it up a bit too. I mean, you can get on Google Earth and find spots that aren't habitated and don't have much use around there, and go find these really cool, routes if you're looking for climbing and potential for ice, and look at weather patterns. There's so much technology these days. It should enhance our sense of adventure. It should.
But then it becomes a a difference of like, you know, comfort and safety versus discomfort.
Yeah,
You know, people would rather sit at home, playing video games
sitting in
and
their pajamas
yeah, just being comfortable and saying that they want to go try this stuff out
and always talking the big game, and yet
versus the people that actually get out and actually try to do this.
exactly. And you have to invest resources into forming this kind of lifestyle. You got to invest resources and time and a lot of pain and suffering and energy and joy and sadness. You have to invest everything into that kind of lifestyle.
You have to
But
choose what you
everyone
want to
loves,
sacrifice.
yeah, you do. You really have to, yeah, you have to choose. And everyone wants to talk the game, but no one, everyone wants to talk the talk, no one wants to walk the walk.
Yeah.
And I wish that would change. I wish there were more adventurers out there. But, I like being part of an elite crew.
Yeah, I mean, I think there has to hit like an equilibrium point, something that like, the same thing that drove on explorers in the past to leave the comfort and safety of their home was because of the thought that something better was out there.
And launch into the unknown,
Yeah.
the super unknown.
And then I think we're going to hit a point uh, now where eventually people are going to say, I want to travel and see that. I mean, we already see influencers and the popping up of the van culture lifestyle.
Yeah.
That has turned regular homebodies into saying, hey, I want to choose discomfort and I want to go and travel and actually see what's out there and what I can find, what I can do, how I can push my limits to that max.
Yeah, and put your time in at another location out in the woods and really devote your time and energy into making that place this beautiful spectacle of a scene without disturbing the environment.
Yeah.
That's a balance. That's a delicate balance.
Yeah. But I think it's on the rise.
Yep. Yeah, I'd say that aspect is on the rise. I mean, it just takes a few people of every generation to encourage others and pave the way for others to engage in that lifestyle.
I think my biggest goal, honestly, with everything is I would love to just travel around the world and climb in different countries and
Oh yeah,
foster that, uh, like brotherhood of climbing or, family of climbing, community, and really just get like people into it. And so I interact and I grow as a person myself because I've interacted with all these different people. But I've also grown the sport because people that would never have been a part of it are suddenly out doing it.
yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I think when you making traveling like such a large part of your life, it needs to have like substance to it. It needs to be more than just going to the next hotel in the next big city and traveling. That's what, man, that annoys me so much when people are like, they're talking about like their hobbies and like their number one hobby is like traveling. It's like, yeah, everyone likes to travel. Well, not everyone, but I'd say most people like to go visit other places and like experience like another food.
Yeah.
But there's a big difference between like traveling to Rome to eat a pizza and going to Italy and going into the mountains and going climbing and experiencing the culture of these small towns and meeting people and engaging with them in conversation. That's traveling. That's adventure. Yeah. And not this 5-star hotel, let me bounce around my Instagram model lifestyle and take pictures in cities. That's just stupid.
I would honestly, like I've always looked at, if I ever had the funds to travel, like, and like all I could choose was my airfare, like I would love to get into like couch surfing.
Totally.
Like I think that's a way better way to travel because you're actually going into someone else's home and abiding their rules and living,
yeah,
experiencing their culture. Like I think that is to me a better form of travel.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, you just get it's such a more enriching experience to do that. I went out to Colorado one time with some buddies on a climbing trip, and we got this Airbnb in the boonies of Boulder Canyon at this guy's cabin, and it wasn't really a cabin. It was more like an old beat down white shed, and we went in there and we made a bunch of pasta, and he kind of like this junkyard vibe. He had tons of trash around. It was really dark, and we had a fun night of drinking and hanging out and talking and getting ready for climbing, and doing a little bit of workout stuff and playing beer die. And we woke up the next morning and met the owner, and he turned out to also be a climber, and he shared a lot with an all climbers lodge that was like super top secret in Boulder, where like climbers go and hang out and like drink together. And it was just a really cool experience to like meet this guy and talk to him about climbing at like 4:30 in the morning, because he's also up at the crack of dawn getting ready to go climbing.
Yeah.
And we had no idea like that's what we were getting into, but it just worked out perfectly. So we stayed like off in this meadow, like in Boulder Canyon, like right across the street from like these like V15s and stuff like that.
Dang,
Like,
that is
V14s
insane.
and like a V15 like right down the road. The game, Daniel Woods. Yeah, we even got on it. Yeah, it was really cool. Yeah, we had to
That
like
is really
we had to
awesome.
like boulder hop and like cross over this like stream that was like pretty wide, just like a pretty like raging mountain creek, and like throw these boulders up on this like weird like little alcove where there's like a big roof V15 right on the side of the road. That's the kind of adventure that I love.
Yeah, I like just traveling like I like finding the new food and
Mm-hmm.
seeing what I can get into.
Yeah.
You know, I get tired of like I love going to the beach, but after about 2 or 3 days, I'm done being there.
Yeah, totally. You get burned out on the beach so quick.
Yeah,
I mean, unless you live in like California, we can get like sweet waves. But like Florida, I get so tired of Florida. I like Florida, but it's got like so many reptiles around there, and I like reptiles too. They're just like there's invasive snakes, and you got hurricanes, you got floods, you got
see, I
wild
grew up
boar,
going to Myrtle Beach, South
trash.
Carolina.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, that's where my grandma lived for
And how'd you
years.
like that?
As a little kid, I loved it, but
Right?
as I've gotten older, I don't at all. If I had to choose a beach to go to, it would be going to Destin,
Yeah.
Florida.
Yeah.
The Emerald Isle.
Totally.
Like I like that, and I think I could even, do that for like 3 days to a week,
Mm-hmm.
just to kind of revive myself. But I don't think I would get. I don't ever think I'd get the same enjoyment as I do, like just going out, like
Being in the mountains.
yeah, like being in the mountains where even where my family live.
Yeah, just launching into the unknown.
Yeah.
That's something so free and appealing about that. Lost culture
Like
is
even if I'm not hiking in it or something, if I just drive in it,
yeah,
like I feel just happier.
and that kind of segues into like our next like kind of side topic of first ascent culture. And we're talking about going and having that adventurous spirit, which you definitely have to have in the first ascent world. But man, you don't see people do first ascents in the southeast that much anymore. Every once in a while, you hear about some new sandstone crag that somebody's built up or something
Yeah.
like that. But there's tons of unclimbed area and territory out in Tennessee, all over the state of Tennessee, and people don't try and go out and find it.
No, I think there's I don't know, just from my like point of view, from how I've noticed getting into through my time getting into climbing, to me it feels like people in the southeast climbers, they want to climb what has been established.
Yep.
They
Repeats.
yeah they want to have that kind of safety net. I mean, and I know there are some people that are not like that, but a majority of the people I have met have been. And I think that first ascent culture is just a different mindset altogether.
It is a different mindset. There's not as many. There's not as many. Quote unquote rules. You go. It's so frequently I go out with people down here in Tennessee, and they got all these rules about what constitutes as climbing. It's like you gotta start this way. You have to follow the guidebook this way. You have to start this route. You have to do it this direction. This
Like I
line.
know we've talked about it before, but I hate the guidebook culture when it comes to climbing.
Yeah, guidebooks used to be a way for you to find out access to like lodging and understanding the area and the history of it. And oh, by the way, here's some routes.
Yeah,
And
go try
now,
this.
yeah, and now it is a total map of every single route that's ever been established there. And that's cool. It's cool if you're really into repeats and you're just looking for a day out on the crag, I like my days on the out on the crag,
Hmm.
like at Obed, climbing stuff that everyone's already climbed before,
Yeah, just
just
stuff
to
that's
push
fun.
myself because it's fun to get on a rock and I enjoy it. It's a nice, beautiful view. But that's not the epitome of climbing. Maybe it is for some people.
I don't know. I don't think it is for me at
That's
all.
not for me. No. And it's funny because I think that point of view's changed a little bit in my life. I used to be really into the just athleticism of climbing, but I don't know. That probably about 8 years ago, that really changed, and it's more about the adventure and the experience and the people that you meet.
What do you think caused that change?
Um, I met Joe, and he had a similar mindset as I, and he was always as crazy and willing to do something totally nuts as I was. And you go out and you have a few of those experiences when your point of view is all about athleticism, and you gain so much perspective and so much information about yourself and during these adventurous experiences that you start going, well, I need that feeling again. I need to learn more about myself. I need to keep pushing that. I need to find my limits. And there's something more appealing about the adventurous side of that than just, you know, being really good at like core workouts and like climbing an overhang.
Yeah,
That's cool and all, but like I want to push more limits than just another sport, or or just another boulder.
yeah,
You know, some climbers don't look at mountaineering as climbing; they look at rock climbing as climbing. They don't look at ice climbing as climbing. They look at rock climbing as climbing, and I just disagree with that. Just blatantly, I just hard and fast disagree with that. I think if you close yourself off to other types of climbing, how true of a climber are you? Are you just really in it for or for just the pure athleticism of just that one style, or are you in it because you love it? And like I've grown to love the sport so much more in the past 10 years. Really, seriously, in the past 10 years, that in the last 8, my position has changed so much.
well, see, and I wonder how many people though, like they just look at getting into the sport of rock climbing, and they get um, you have people that like get into it because they're like, hey, I kind of can do this one thing that other people can't do, and so that is their whole reason for getting in and climbing.
Yeah, I mean, God, I've had friends that have claimed themselves as like hardcore slab climbers and they've never been outdoor slab climbing. And the second they step outdoor slab climbing, they're just like, oh, this is kind of sketchy.
Yeah,
It's like, yeah, you shouldn't probably label yourself one way before you've tried something. It's just I I would never consider myself like a trad climber. I haven't really ever trad climbed.
no, I don't consider myself an ice climber
Yeah,
because I've never ice climbed.
exactly.
I want
I
to.
wouldn't consider myself an ice climber. I like ice climbing. I've done it, but I haven't done it a lot, and I wouldn't consider myself an ice climber. Maybe in a year or two,
Yeah,
when I'm doing it more consistently.
I think after at least a good full season of ice climbing,
Yeah,
like
and
nothing
that
but
may be this season. That may be this season. Might be able to get out. There might be a place in North Carolina that'll open up. But yeah, I just people don't knock it till you try it, folks.
yeah.
Don't knock it till you try it. I had this girl on the USA team who said she hated outdoor climbing. She's never been outdoors. She's never climbed outside before. That doesn't make any sense to me. Why would you say that? That doesn't make any sense. You've never tried this.
That sounds to me
How
like
could you
that
hate it?
sounds to me like someone has said, "No, you will hate outside climbing," and they've just took that to heart.
Yeah, they just believed it. I guess because they trusted that person. I don't know.
Yeah,
Don't knock it till you try it.
yeah. I will say, like for the longest time, when I got started in climbing, I never thought I would be going outdoors. I climbed exclusively in the gym, and not because I didn't want to, just because I never thought I was. I thought it was going to be something that you had to have, all of this time of experience to go outside
Yeah.
and climb, which you do. You
Yeah.
ideally you have some experience before you go outdoor climbing.
Yeah, ideally you have some experience with climbing before you go outdoors, and ideally you go outdoors for the first time with someone who knows what they're doing
Yeah, and then
and can teach you more about that world.
and yeah, and I never really it never really clicked to me that if you go outdoor climbing, there's not a person at the front desk who's saying no, you can't do this. Like it's just you have the gear and you go.
Yeah, exactly. You get on exactly what you want to get on. I don't, every time I go outside, I don't always want to like try and like send a project. Sometimes I just want to get up something.
Yeah,
It's just good for the head, It's just good for your headspace to just get up something.
yeah, and
There's nothing wrong with that.
so when I finally got to go outside, I liked it because it was completely different, but I also hated it because I just didn't have the greatest experience with it.
Mm-hmm.
Like I felt like I'd been cheated of the experience because I kept trying to go by the guidebook. So I never got anything that I truly liked. I just got on stuff that everyone else suggested.
Right.
But the more I've gone outside, I think, especially like through this whole last season of just climbing outside at Obed,
Mm-hmm.
Foster's, all these different places, I've garnered much more appreciation for it.
Absolutely.
And I love outdoor climbing. I would prefer to go outdoor climbing over gym climbing any day.
Every day if possible.
Yeah.
It's not, but I wish it was.
If I lived in a place where weather was great all year round, hell, yes, I would be.
And it wasn't a 2-hour drive somewhere.
Yes, like I would totally be out. Like if I lived in Spain,
Or even just like Boulder, Colorado. It's like
yeah,
basically right in the city, and you can get on a V15, like I was just saying.
yeah,
You can get all sorts of stuff. Or there's Flagstaff Mountain right inside Boulder. You just drive up a mountain. It's just tons of sandstone conglomerate, like really hard stuff.
yeah,
There's a climbing everywhere.
yeah.
It's flat irons right there. Boom, done. You can easy solo.
hmm Like if I had that option, yeah, I would never probably step foot in a gym unless it was an absolute horrible day.
Yeah, yeah. It's just not. There's just no adventure there. It's just like I get frustrated with projects that I get in the gym of just really hard stuff that maybe I've set or somebody else has set. But at the end of the day, I never really get that bent out of shape if I never get them because that's just not the end game.
Yeah, I was just telling one of the new climbers at the gym the other day that indoor projects are great. They're great to get you in a good mind space and
A good fitness.
good fitness, good indicator.
Yeah.
But they're not like outdoor projects. Your outdoor projects never change. Like
Right.
until you they do when you complete projects, but the actual climb themselves never change.
Right.
Indoor projects come and go.
Yeah.
There's a new set every
Every month, pretty much.
during season every month, out of season every 2 months.
Yeah.
So, I mean,
I've still got the same. I've still got some outdoor projects I've been working on for 3 years.
Yeah, I'm on
Close to 4 years. Yeah.
I'm on 3 years with Super Mario.
And that's just because I haven't dedicated that much time to it. But every time I go to that location, I always get on the project and I always push it, try to get a little bit further, and then I go away.
Yeah.
And that's just because, well, we're not professional climbers yet.
Yeah.
We still have to go back to work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly. And
Otherwise, let's obsess about the project until it was completed, which I've done before, and you've done before.
Yeah. I mean, I haven't got my project yet, but
Yeah.
But it's it's one of those things though that I know no matter if I don't get Super Mario this year, next year, I know in 5 years it'll still be there because it does not change.
Yeah.
I might change my body changes, I get stronger or weaker depending on what happens, but the route stays the same.
Right.
And that's why I don't think I think gym climbing can be very detrimental to the mindset of
Just the climber's
growth.
mindset. Yeah.
Yeah, mindset of growth.
Mm-hmm.
Because you're constantly it might be good for the changing of the mindset into a growth mindset of, oh, this is constantly changing, I need to change my outlook as it changes,
Right.
or my approach to completing this project, but it never
It doesn't really improve you as a climber. I mean, it just like inhibits you.
yeah.
You get a little bit stronger. Maybe you get a little bit better technique, but the second you step outside, man, that stuff can just fall away so quickly. You just have to keep training yourself.
And I think there's a comment there, there's definitely a misconception in the modern climbing gym that just because you're doing good inside means you're going to go out and be an absolute crusher outside.
Right, yeah. God, that is not true, people. Don't believe that.
And I mean, I think climbing out the side, especially your first time, is a very humbling experience.
Oh, it is, man. It is.
There's some people that are going to be naturals, obviously, and that can pick it up very quickly. But there's going to be a lot of people that are looking at it going, hey, no, this isn't my style of climbing. They get frustrated because they can't see the pattern on the rock. They can't figure out how to get their feet placed.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I think in the gym we have all these nice, pretty feet hold that even as we're putting them up and we're saying, oh, let's put this crappy foothold here, it's still way better than half the stuff you get outside.
Oh yeah, so much better. We were talking last week about Hazel Finley on that magic. God, we just talked about
Yeah, we
this.
just talked about that.
Magic trick? No, that's what I said last week. It wasn't magic. Magic lines. I think that's what it was. And having cemented footholds because everything else was so bad. And then once the last cemented footholds broke, she was climbing the route in its true nature, and it was way harder than had ever previously been climbed.
Yeah. I mean,
And in the gym, everything juts out from the wall, so
you know where to put it.
your feet are never really that bad.
That's where like I had a lot of problems when I went to Kings Bluff. I dropped, get on this 5.7 and I can very clearly see the line, but because I'm not used to trusting my feet or knowing where to place my feet while outside climbing, I could not force my way up it.
Right?
Like I felt a lot weaker in that area of my technique, and it's difficult. That's something it's really hard to train in the gym when you have all these nice, very open, even a credit card crimp that you can place a minuscule bit of your toe on.
Yeah.
Then that's way more help than what you get outside.
Mm-hmm. I agree. Yeah. Oh man, people need to get outside more.
I definitely recommend it to everybody.
I'll never quit griping about that. I'll just continuously gripe about that till I die.
I think that's every episode you have mentioned.
Yeah, no, I know. I should probably stop talking about it. Sorry,
Yeah.
sorry, audience. I'll quit bringing it up. Probably not.
You're kind of set in your ways.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I'll quit. I'll quit complaining about people going outside the second I stop drinking. Just a long time from now.
When the doctor says it's
Yeah, when the doctor says I can't, he's just like, it is detrimental to your health to have another shot of whiskey or complain about people going outside climbing. Like, oh, thanks, doc.
Yeah, it's one of those things. The stress of it's just going to get to you.
Yeah. Oh, the stress already gets to me. So it's just deteriorating my mind.
Wow.
Just like I'm gonna have Alzheimer's by the time I'm like 45.
I think that would.
You're like, have I climbed this route before?
No, that's just called getting old.
Yeah. It's just called forgetting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can't forget. That's climbing too many routes that you can't remember what you climbed.
The Megos level just keep like 9 books of just like the hardest routes you've ever climbed. Like, oh yeah, it's my casual collection.
Yeah, this is
You guys
where
want to hang out?
This is where I climbed. Yeah. Like, oh no, sorry, I already climbed there.
Yeah. We talked about, well, we didn't talk about this last week, but we've watched it since the last time we recorded the Alex Megos film.
Yeah.
Rotpunkt. Is that what it's called?
Yeah, Rotpunkt.
Yeah, German for
Red
point.
Point.
So
Yeah, it's all about the development of the Red Point style of climbing, which was absolutely awesome to see.
what was that guy's name? Wolfgang.
Yes.
Wolfgang. Yeah.
Something.
Yeah. No. I don't know. Maybe it's just a moniker, but Wolfgang
Yeah, no, I think his name was Wolfgang something.
Johnson. Leroy. Bob.
I'm gonna look this up.
Wolfgang Bob. We'll call him
I
that. for now.
don't think.
Wolfgang Snow, for all you Game of Thrones fans out there. Yeah. Anyways, while Logan looks that up, I'll talk a little bit about Wolfgang. He was like super strong climber.
Like made training into a science.
Yeah, he really did. I mean, he was just like the first guy to just be like cranking one arm pull-ups. And it was like John Backer level Yosemite climber. But he was like a German
Wolfgang
dude. Gulich. So
like
Snow was pretty close. Awesome.
No,
Hit the nail on the head there.
Nope, way off.
Anyways, he was pretty hardcore. He developed the Red Point style of climbing, which became a pretty high standard for sport climbing and Megos.
It's still used today.
It's still used today. It's a standard. It's a standard for competitions today too.
Yeah, that's what we have all of our youth kids doing for sports season. It's like Red Point style.
Yeah, totally. And it's just expected, for something to count in sport, in really hard sport climbing. You have to Red Point it.
Yeah.
or really, I guess just any climbing. You can't be taking falls and counted as a climb that you completed.
Yeah.
And Wolfgang kind of paved that way, and Magos pays tribute to him in his film about his red point of Perfecto Mundo 515C in, I believe it was Margalef, Spain. Yeah, Margalef. Which is beautiful Spanish crag, super famous, hard sport climbing in Spain, limestone. So Megos, yeah, that film Rock Point really had me develop a whole new appreciation for Alex Megos.
It made me respect him a lot more than I previously did because I'd only seen his gym training videos.
Yeah, and he comes off as such a pretentious person, you know?
Yes,
He just comes off really pretentious.
he does.
And shame on me for passing judgment on somebody like that. Bad rep.
Yeah.
Bad rep.
I mean,
Shame.
we all do it.
Yeah,
No matter how much we try to say we don't, we all pass judgment at some point or the other.
Mm-hmm.
Like, but I think that was what was really great about watching the videos because I had all these preconceived notions that he was one way, and to see him in a totally different light made the respect I gained for him so much more.
And he's not afraid to dirtbag it. They even show a clip of him like waking up on like with his head like on a sidewalk or something, just like on a little town outside Margalef.
Yeah.
Like he's pretty hardcore, man. I mean, he trains like an animal. He goes out there and he'll rough it. I mean, he just bullies himself on the wall. What was his statement about climbing? He said, "If it takes me longer than 2 weeks to project, I don't think it's hard." And Perfecto Mundo was like the first.
No, if it doesn't, if it takes less than 10 days.
Less than 10 days, then it's not hard. And Perfecto Mundo took him like 4 weeks, I think, to complete.
Yeah,
it was like the longest project he'd ever had.
The first ascent on it.
First ascent. Sharma went and worked it with him. And Stefano Gisafoli went and worked it with him. He's really good too. And
like I would love to talk to Sharma and like actually get his insight into just how he felt during all that training with Megos and climbing and everything. And
he'd be like, "Oh, it's really beautiful to watch Megos out here in this beautiful line that I developed way back in the day when I had long, golden long hair and I was single and I didn't have a wife and 2 kids." It goes from like hippie Sharma back in the day, like obviously like just a complete just dirtbag appreciation for everything to like, oh, I slowly resent my life as I live in this house with this family. No, I'm just kidding.
I probably think that because like he probably loves his family. His wife is a supermodel.
That's the only reason. No.
He's friends with actors from around the world.
He was in Point Break. It's like the epitome of a rock climber's career is when they can stunt double a remake of Point Break,
which wasn't bad.
Alex Honnold critiqued it.
It wasn't good, but it wasn't bad.
No, it wasn't bad. It was kind of fun to watch. It's a good action movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was surprised he was not the surfer. He was a rock climber. Even though he used to look like a surfer.
Yeah.
No, not so much. He got that short hair.
Now he's a businessman. He owns his.
He owns how many gyms? 4 or 5. He's got Madrid, Barcelona, San Francisco, LA. I think that's it. I think he's got 4, and he might be doing a 5th somewhere.
I think the 4th just opened.
Madrid, yeah. Madrid just opened. Yeah, he's pretty successful, and his gyms are freaking crazy. I looked up just to compare like what it's like, what it costs and what it takes to be on our USA team and what it takes to be on the USA team of a Cinder 1 gym, of Sharma's gym. And it is, the qualifications physically are not as difficult, or they're basically non-existent. It's like on evaluation, kind of like ours are.
Yeah.
But it's like $280 or something like that per month.
Jeez.
To be on a USA competition team in a Cinder 1 gym. And ours is like
but
35.
But they're probably putting out I don't know, like
amazing climbers.
Yeah.
I looked at their climbers. They actually look, kind of like a mix of ours. Like
some good, some bad.
No. I mean, all the USA kids are awesome, but
I think it takes a special kid to be in USA climbing.
Yeah.
Like it takes a different mental toughness.
It does. It does take a different mental toughness. And The ones at Cinder One, they're just like mean muggers. They just walk around like they're just about to whoop everybody because they're Chris Sharma's gym, the
And
OG sport god and boulder god of his generation.
and they're paying. They've got the money for it too.
They sure do. I'm in San Francisco, upscale LA.
One of my friends that actually used to work at the gym, he just went to a Cinder One gym.
Did he really? What do you
Yeah.
think of it?
I don't fully know what he thought about it. I just saw in a story, but he was like really pumped. And then at the end of he did a second story post. He was like, "I'm exhausted. I'm dead."
Yeah, Sharma's wife boulders at his gym.
I can believe it.
Yeah, he helps
I mean-
her out. Well, at least I've seen like videos and stuff, and she can go on overhang and like pull.
Like
Even though she probably like rarely climbs, she just absorbs his like raw energy.
I just kind of want to like meet and hang out with him and go climbing.
I would love to hang out with Chris Sharma. That's like a dream come true. I'd be a
Yeah.
kid in a candy shop if that happened.
Deep water solo with him.
Oh, forget about it. Dream come true. I could
Yeah.
die a happy man if that happened. I'd die a bitter old man right now, but if I went deep water soloing with Chris Sharma, I would die a happy young whippersnapper.
Yeah, I would be really happy.
Can you imagine that experience, just that level? I mean, he's got like his own boat. He hangs out with Jason Momoa, who's
Yeah.
like surfing next to him or something crazy like that. Just like yeehaw in his way under Sharma, probably dropping him off on the surfboard. Go get it, Sharmy. Unky Sharmy. I think that's what he calls him, Unky Sharmy, or something like that.
I think it might be his kids who say that.
I think he calls him that for his kids. I think he really looks at Chris Sharma as an uncle.
Maybe, who knows?
Could be.
I don't know. I think if I honestly like deep water soloing with him would be awesome. I'd probably love to do a training session with Magnus Mitbo.
Oh man, yeah. He seems like a jolly dude.
Yeah, he always seems happy.
Always happy.
Like I think he just
I mean, he's like what? He's from Norway.
he's from somewhere in northern Europe.
Yeah, Scandinavian. He's Scandinavian. He's just a jolly old, just blonde-haired dude. Just deep-water souls in a wetsuit in Norway.
But he does do a lot of gym training.
Yeah.
Like that's.
He does. Yeah, he's so strong.
Yeah, he's insane.
He's strong. Like one finger, one arm pull-ups, like it's nothing. He'll just like pump them out.
On a little like campus board.
Yeah, and just mean like he's like literally like one hand, like one finger in a sling, hanging off of a campus board, and just cranking like, hello. Look at me. Make eye contact. Eye contact.
Yeah. I don't know. Like I think both of them I would like to climb with, and then if I could like ever go back in history and climb with anybody, it would honestly probably be like Royal Robbins, then Jim Bridwell, and then Dean Potter.
Yeah, the Yosemite guys. I would love to be during like the golden age. Man, if I could go, I could go hang out with Royal Robbins, another purist. That's why I like Sharma so much. He's such a purist.
Yeah, that's one thing I like about I like Robbins more than Harding.
But yeah, I did kind of like Harding though. I kind of liked his attitude because he was so fringe.
Yeah.
It was just like, screw your rules. I'm gonna get so drunk up here.
Yeah.
That I won't remember this ascent.
See, I don't know that necessarily that I'd want to be like in the golden age of climbing, but I'd like to be in that transition period between the golden age and the Stone Masters.
Yeah.
Like that group that's ushering in the new age, like right when Bridwell's like really getting big on the scene.
Yeah, totally.
Because I feel like my training would totally like I would love to get to that point where I'm like, Jim Bridwell, John Backer, just like being in an area where I can constantly work out and climbing. That's all I'm worrying about.
Yeah.
And just getting insanely strong. And then, making these crazy climbs.
Yeah. Man, I would, yeah. Oh my God. Training at Camp 4.
Like, I think I would be into, like, I hate training. Like, I've gotten strong in the last, 2 weeks, but I hate training.
Dude, sometimes I hate it. And today, man, I needed it.
Someday, yeah.
Ooh, I had a bad day today. And I just went and wrecked myself on the campus board, man.
But
weighted crimp pull-ups and like walk-offs and campusing with like
But
45
hear
pound
me
weight
out.
plates.
Which would have been better? Training in the gym and getting the frustration out in the gym, or just going out and beating yourself up on a wall outside or a
Always the
boulder
wall.
outside?
Always the wall. No hesitation. Wouldn't even
I
doubt it.
mean, I feel like my training would jump leaps and bounds if I was able to just constantly be outside climbing.
Dude, that was Sharma's entire training regimen. He's
Yeah.
like, Sharma, how are you so good? He's just like, well, I just climb outside a lot, man. And they're like, oh, like, don't you have a trainer? No, that's not really my scene. And
Yeah,
he
see, I
climbs
like.
like 515C.
Yeah, see, I feel like that would be me if I was able to just constantly stay outside.
Absolutely, that'd be me too, man. I would just love to be outside. I would. Why would you ever train? You're just constantly pushing yourself on real rock. That's the whole goal, anyways.
Yeah.
Just keep climbing on that.
Well, I mean, I think there's some people out there who'd be like, oh, but you need the gym to train. You need
Yeah.
to.
That's not the way they had at Camp 4. They just put up some like 2x4s and just like started like doing pull-ups and stuff.
Yeah, like had a hangboard and slackline and
Yeah.
that's it.
Yeah, they're training the hard skills. So
Yeah.
I'm gonna edit that out.
There's no editing that.
No, never mind. I'm not gonna edit that out. Just to deal with my wrestling vest. It's getting hot in here.
It's because I'm sitting here.
Nice.
I mean,
Excellent pun. Way to go.
is that really a pun though,
Mm,
or just an observation?
you got me again.
That's how.
You're on a roll tonight. Got some edge about you tonight.
I mean, sometimes you just gotta be a little on edge.
Yeah. Gotta live on the edge.
Yeah. I mean,
living on the edge of time.
what's the point of life if you're not living on the edge?
There is no point. You might as well just die.
That's really dark.
Am I wrong?
I plead the fifth.
Nice.
Anyway.
Yeah. All right, back to happy thoughts.
Free solo ice climbing.
Chris Sharma. Yeah, free solo ice climbing. God, what was that guy's name? Like Getzel or something. It's completely impossible to pronounce. He was
probably not completely impossible.
No,
his
that
parents named
it is for my southern, non-existent southern accent that shines through. Never.
David Rotzel.
David Rutzel, not Getzel or whatever. David Rutzel. All right, David. Ooh, that's a hard one to pronounce.
Yeah. Ooh,
God.
that is so hard.
Yeah, I know. I gotta get better with names, man. I just keep screwing up. Anyways, this guy, he was in Vail, Colorado.
Yep.
15 free solo ice routes in a day. Broke a record. Whoa.
I think they said it was like all the ice routes there.
Yep. So I wonder what free soloing ice is like.
So part of me feels like depending on how the water freezes.
What type of ice you're on?
Like what type of if it's a solid ice that it's not gonna break under you. I feel like it would feel
waterfall
sketchy.
Ice where it's like really fragile.
Like I feel like it would be really freaky and very strength and like still just as dangerous. But I feel like with the crampons and the tools to like help you get to the top, I think it would give people a false sense of like bravado, like a
definitely.
false sense of bravery that more people would be like, oh, I think I could totally do that because all I'm doing is placing my picks, placing my feet, and going.
Right.
So, I think it would definitely be hard. I think it would have to be something that only an experienced ice climber who knows how to read the ice could do. But I definitely think it's a lot more attainable to do that than like free soloing El Cap or something.
Yeah, I mean you're relying on metal to really support you there, and the metal's not just gonna snap, not with our technology.
Yeah.
So the risk of like greasing off something is much lower on ice because you're kicking front points and crampons, like spiked crampons into ice.
Yeah.
And smashing a tool into the wall. That's just way more secure than like
placing your foot and placing your hand.
Yeah, or climbing a glass off width or something like that.
Yeah.
Of course, if you were to free solo overhanging waterfall ice.
Oh, then it gets significantly harder.
Yeah, I feel like that's like way sketchier.
You would have to definitely trust that you know how to read the ice, have to make a couple moves, and if you're not feeling safe, to get back off before something tragic happens.
Yeah. 15 ice routes in a day. That's
I think
crazy.
it said like overall, like at the end of the day, over 1,000 feet of ice climbed,
Yep. That's exactly what the article said. Over 1,000 vertical feet of ice,
which is
free soloed
yeah,
in a day.
that's like the first pitch of LCAT, or
Yeah.
the first third of LCAT.
Yeah, that's oof. It's a lot.
I
It's a
think,
lot of ice.
and I think that definitely speaks to David's core strength and endurance. Like,
Yeah.
like
God,
just,
he's got to have forearms of steel.
but we don't know how much time he took between each climb.
That's true, but still in a day, it's not much time for 15 routes over 1,000 feet. That's just a ton of climbing.
That's a ton of climbing, but you know, if he hit 5 in the first like 3 hours that when he was really fresh, and then
Yeah, it took some time
takes
off.
an hour
Yeah,
takes an hour off and does like 3 or 4 climbs, then takes another hour off. Like, I mean,
that's true. That's a good
he
point.
can knock that out in half a day.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Or maybe a little longer than half a day.
It'll be interesting to see. I feel like free solo ice climbing is going to develop more and more as a sport. I think people are going to, when we talked about the culture that's happened because of free solo, I think once people start, living in places where there's ice climbing and they start thinking about free soloing, they're probably going to start just going out and free solo ice climbing because it just feels so much more secure.
Well, I know like my common misconception until I really got into learning about ice climbing was that a lot of it was just free soloing.
Oh yeah, yeah. And that's really just that's kind of more like alpinism, although even still you're attached to like another person.
Yeah.
Most of the time. From what I understand.
Yeah. But I mean, I just always thought it was like, ice climbing, they're climbing up a frozen over waterfall with just their crampons and ice axes, then they get to the top and then lower the rope.
Yeah.
And that's how they get down.
Yeah, I mean, so they're placing actual protection.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think. I look forward to seeing what happens with that frontier.
I think it's definitely interesting. I think ice climbing in and of itself is just absolutely a beautiful yet massive undertaking.
Yeah, I mean, seeing pictures and videos from the Bozeman Ice Fest this past weekend and climbing in Highlight Canyon. God, that just the scenery there, and that's why you go out there and climb. You get that view. There's nothing like it.
I want to hit the Norwegian Ice Festival. Happens a lot sooner
awesome.
in the season, but
yeah, I would love to hit that.
Yeah, I think there's one of the ice climbers that I actually follow on Instagram. His name's like Matthias Scherer.
Okay.
And he went to the Norwegian Ice Fest. He's been in Banff for like the last solid month, and he just constantly posts these beautiful photos of waterfalls that are completely like, or ice falls or whatever they're called.
Mm-hmm.
And he's just out doing ice climbing for a full season.
At Ure, when we go up there, they're going to be showing the film about Himalayan ice, which is some new ice climbing that was discovered deep, deep in the Himalayas. I cannot wait to watch that. I wonder if some of the climbers from that are going to be at the festival.
That would be.
I'm going to nerd out hard if they are. Yeah.
That's when the bribing to get them on the podcast starts.
I also heard that the Michigan Ice Fest, there was an online chat. It was actually something Joe sent me. There was an online chat, and apparently, it's a relatively small festival, and the fact that Conrad Anchor is going to be there, like, since it's so small that you are definitely going to run into him.
That is really cool.
Yeah, it's basically guaranteed because there's so few people there, and so it's just like you just walk amongst the crowd and you're just like, hey, Conrad, what's up? There's like going to be like a VIP area, which I think might be happening at Ure. It seems like that might be the vibe. I'm not really sure, man. If you guys are Ure like frequenters, please email us and talk with us about this because I'm kind of curious as to
what's our email address.
ChossyConvos@gmail.com. Convos, CONVOS.
Please send us questions.
Yeah.
Pictures, anything.
Yeah, any information, or if you want to schedule an interview with us and you're in the area, or if you're going to be in an area where we're going to be at the same time, shoot us an email. We would love to hear from you. And feel free to correct us on anything if we're missing anything. Although I think we're getting pretty accurate down to the roots of this thing. But I'm kind of curious as to what the format for Euro is going to be like. I wonder how low key or high key it's going to be. And I feel like it's one of the largest in the world. It's probably going to be pretty intense.
I feel like the like in Uray itself, like when people are out in the park climbing, it won't be. I feel like the nightly events is what's going to be
Definitely
more crowd controlled.
And there's going to be a rave. That's going to be fun.
Woo!
Raving with Crampons. Mosh pits.
That sounds like a death metal album.
Let's do it. Raving with Crampons.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, that would be awesome. We should name the episode that. Raving with Crampons.
All right.
Done.
There we go.
Done. That's the name of the episode.
Everyone got to be a part of that.
Yep. Thanks for your input, audience.
Oh, yep.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. We don't really have much else to talk about.
No, I think our time is winding down here.
Yeah, it looks like it. So until we see you guys next time, again, hopefully catching you at Uray. This is Rhett Lundy signing out.
And this is Logan McGaha. Bring the stoke and stay Chossy.
There you go.
Choss heads.
Choss goblins.
That's what it was.
Still keeping it. Keep it alive. That's going to be a t-shirt.
What, keep it alive or Choss goblins?
Choss goblins.
Or both.
Or both.
All right, guys. Signing off. Have a good night.